Well, I was in my early 20s. I was living in Longmont, Colorado, in the United States, and I came back east to visit my parents. Uh, I drove back with a friend of mine who also grew up in the area I grew up in, and we went to a party that night, and I was drinking and doing other mind-altering substances, and it's kind of funny in a strange way because the girl who was having the party I thought was kind of cute, and I was a little drunk, and I felt like, I sort of stretched it, saying I couldn't drive so I could leave my car there, mostly so I could go back the next day and talk to the girl who was having the party. In the meanwhile, I got a little bit higher without really thinking about it, and so almost back to my parents' house, I realized my sister needed the car the next day. So I went back to the party to get the car, and I remember leaving the party, but I don't remember anything after that until I was out of my body. So apparently I'd crashed into a tree, and I was out of my body looking down. My body was against the tree. There was a policeman leaning over me. I assumed he took me out of the car, but I didn't see that part of it. It was more of a kinesthetic experience where I just felt this wonderful energy and love, and just like it just seemed like everything was so all right, in a way, like everything was all right, and it seemed like there was just a connection and a knowing. I'm still, all these years later, I'm trying to figure out the exact words to explain it. And it's funny, but when I say that to people, they go, oh, they get it, because it's too big to really explain. After there was a lot of white light. I was all in the white light. Behind me, my sense, I didn't look that way, but behind me there was a giant being, and then like a little being. And the little being said to me, you have to go back. Your father wants you to stay. And without thinking about it, because everything was perfectly fine, I went back into my body and then woke up 3 days later in the hospital. I do remember very specifically the nurse saying to me it was touch and go. I assumed I was very close to dying, and the neurologist, I still remember the look on his face, because he had this impish look on his face. He was smiling, saying, you are lucky. And, like indicating you're lucky that that you made it. In those days, patients' rights were very different. So the doctor didn't tell my parents anything, didn't tell me anything about what happened, really, except for that I needed to go see the neurologist from time to time for a while to be checked on.